Every wrestling promotion needs at least one championship belt. Otherwise, what the hell are all the people in tiny pants actually fighting over? WWE have given us some truly great title designs over the years. The Winged Eagle, the NXT North American Championship, the NXT UK Championship, and so on. That said, there have also been some that are so ugly it's hard to imagine anyone actually wanting to win them. Get your protective goggles ready. Some of these are absolutely hideous. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are the 10 worst WWE Championship belt designs. Join us.
But first, if you needed the best protection possible, who would you turn to? Brock Lesnar? Omos? Maybe get Farouk and Bradshaw back out of retirement? No. If you want the best protection out there, then there is naught better than NordVPN. Cheers to Nord for sponsoring this video. We at Cultaholic truly believe that NordVPN is the best service of its kind. So here's how I use Nord. Obviously, I live in the United Kingdom, but with NordVPN I can set myself to be anywhere in the world virtually and access content from those regions. So this means if I fancied it, I could set myself to be somewhere else in the world virtually and sign up for a certain sports entertainment network for a fraction of the price. Or if I happen to live in the United States, I could sign up for that sports entertainment network even though it doesn't properly exist as it did before in the United States. You get what I mean. So you can get all of the premium live events, the weekly shows, the historical stuff, all of that for a fraction of the price. Oh, and it works for plenty of other on-demand services too. Wink. On top of that, it protects against password attacks, phishing, ransomware, malware, and much, much more. It's seriously an investment worth making, and you know what? There's even a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if Nord isn't for you, you can get your money back, no bother at all. So grab your exclusive NordVPN deal right now by going to nordvpn.com/cultaholic, link in the description below, to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus 4 additional months for free. Can't say fairer than that.
Number 10, the Universal Championship. We are starting with a design that's more lazy than it is actively bad. At SummerSlam 2016, Finn Balor defeated Seth Rollins in a match for the inaugural Universal Championship. Designed to serve as Raw's top prize after the second brand split, this new title marked a new era by crowning a brand new star. So, how did it look? Exactly the same as the other belt on the other brand. Sure, that makes sense. When Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley unveiled the belt, fans were audibly disappointed. Here was this so-called new championship, but it looked almost entirely the same as the existing WWE Championship on SmackDown, save for a red strap instead of a black one. It must have taken WWE hundreds, nay, thousands of seconds to come up with that idea. This low-effort embarrassment went down so badly that the crowd constantly booed throughout what was actually a really good match between Balor and Rollins. The Universal title belt showed that WWE didn't care enough to think of a different design, so it didn't surprise many to see the fans expressing their displeasure so vocally. Number 9, the WWE ECW Championship. Prior to its closure in 2001, ECW was using a fantastically designed belt to represent its World Heavyweight Championship. It was messy, it was rough, it was a bit frightening, which was everything that the violent little promotion embodied at the time. A slightly altered version of the belt was used when ECW was raised from the dead by WWE in 2006. However, the company soon realized that this strap was too cool looking for their new bland version of the product, so they got rid of it. It was replaced in 2008 by this sorry-looking thing. Much like the once feared Philadelphia promotion as a whole, the title was now a watered-down, sanitized version of its former self, looking about as threatening as a kitten playing with an elastic band. Everything about this new model just felt mid-card, right down to the fact that it was now silver instead of gold. It's just uninspired and drab, isn't it? And to many, it killed off any chance of the brand ever being taken seriously again. To make matters worse, this was the final ever version of the ECW World title. Paul Heyman must have been spinning in his bed. Number 8, the WWE Tag Team Championships. Whilst they've never been the best looking belts in the world, WWE have turned out some really nice looking tag titles in their time. The classic World Tag Team Championship design was big and bold, like any good title should be. Even the often maligned women's tag team titles are striking and could also double up as giant ninja stars in a tight spot. Unfortunately, there is no such love here for the design that debuted in 2010. After the unified tag team champions presumably got sick of lugging 4 belts around, WWE brought out new straps that would represent the WWE Tag Team Championships. And these belts were round, like really round. Like round enough they broke the laws of physics round. It's been said many times before, but these titles made anyone who wore them look like they'd strapped a giant 2-pence piece to their stomachs. They simply weren't desirable at all and made the tag division look even more second-rate than it already did at the time. Hey, at least WWE didn't do something like, I don't know, make a red pair of belts for Raw and then a blue pair for SmackDown. Oh, wait. Number 7, Tommy Dreamer's Hardcore Championship. Personalized championships can go one of 2 ways. You either end up with the Smoking Skull, or whatever the hell Jeff Hardy did to the Impact World title. Trust me, if this list included all of wrestling, that thing would be right towards the top. Tommy Dreamer had a go at leaving his mark on the beloved Hardcore Championship, except that mark turned out to be a stain. And we can all figure out what kind of stain it was. Inspired by Dreamer's home of New York City, the new design featured an NYC license plate with barbed wire crossing through it, and a Statue of Liberty holding a Singapore cane right in the center. Yes, it's just as garish as it sounds. This new visage was introduced because the old belt was literally falling apart, although honestly I'd have rather seen a tattered old title than the one that looks like it came from a gift shop, and not a nice gift shop. Number 6, the Light Heavyweight Championship. WWE's Light Heavyweight Championship has a weird history. It started life in the Universal Wrestling Association, a Mexican promotion that WWE were partners with in the 80s and 90s. The title eventually found its way back to the States, but only after spending some time being defended in Japan. And the weirdest part of all of that is that of all the people who had the belt in WWE, Gillberg had it the longest. How the hell did that happen? The final version of the belt was just so clunky looking, a big cumbersome front plate with no real defining features stuck onto a boring black strap with equally uninspiring side plates to boot. The worst iteration of the title has to be the one with a red strap. The hue they had chosen clashed mightily with the gold plates, making the title ugly as well as boring. I mean, no wonder the company swapped this out for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship as soon as they bloody could. Good for them. Number 5, John Cena's United States Championship. Some may have been expecting to see the John Cena-style WWE Championship belt on this list, but there is actually a far worse Cena design out there than the world title spinner. Johnny Boy, back when he was in his Vanilla Ice cosplay phase, won his first ever championship in WWE in the opening match of WrestleMania 20. He defeated the Big Show for the United States Championship in a move that was widely cheered by fans, if only they knew what was to come. Whilst reigning with the gold, Cena introduced his own custom version of the US title, and good lord was it gaudy as anything. Looks like America threw up all over it. With more fake jewels than 1,000 branches of Claire's accessories and Cena's actual name written on the front, this belt was so ostentatious that it's a miracle Cena wasn't getting booed much earlier in his career. Hey, if we can thank JBL for anything in this world, it's blowing this monstrosity up in a trash can. Number 4, the United States Heavyweight Championship. Long before John Cena was burning our retinas with his hideous title design, another belt with a similar name was also turning heads for all the wrong reasons. Back when it was called the WWWF and run by Vince McMahon Sr., the company introduced the United States Heavyweight Championship for its stars to fight over. The title has quite the lineage, having been held by the likes of Buddy Rogers, Pedro Morales, and the original Sheik. It was abandoned in 1976 after Bobo Brazil had held it for about 5 years. Honestly, we're amazed he didn't get rid of it sooner. First of all, why does the strap appear to be made out of felt? Did Vince Sr. have to raid his son's arts and crafts box to make this thing? Second of all, who thought that this was an acceptable representation of the United States? It looks like it was made in about 5 minutes, in the dark. by a dog. It's almost impossible to find any evidence of this belt even existing on WWE's official website. And you know what? Can't blame them. Number 3, the 24/7 Championship. We already mentioned how the Hardcore Championship got a horrible makeover courtesy of Tommy Dreamer, but at least the original design was good. The same cannot be said for its spiritual successor. In May 2019, Mick Foley introduced this utter monstrosity to the world. This was the 24/7 Championship, which was similar to the Hardcore title in the sense that it could be won at any time, in any place, by anyone. Where it differed, though, was that the Hardcore Championship was actually good. In an era where many of WWE's titles looked the same, this one went too far the other way. A vile green strap, a big obnoxious gold circle, a half-hearted attempt to show a clock face. It looks like it was designed by an alien from a planet where good taste is punishable by death. But hey, at least this fungus of a design was an early warning that the title itself was going to be a piece of trash. Quite literally in the end, actually, as Nikki Cross dumped the belt in a bin to end its sorry legacy once and for all. Well, she almost got it in the bin. Number 2, the Divas Championship. Whilst the 24/7 title was offensive to the eyes, at least it wasn't offensive to half of the world's population. At Night of Champions 2010, WWE Women's Champion Michelle McCool defeated Divas Champion Melina to unify the two belts. Did McCool choose to carry on using the title with nearly 50 years worth of history behind it? No, she opted for the one shaped like a butterfly. This title, which was introduced back in 2008, was an emblem of how WWE saw its women's competitors at the time. Were they fearsome warriors clashing over a mighty prize, or were they dainty little girls who just wanted the pink thing to add to their Polly Pocket collection? What do you think? Put simply, the title failed in its primary function, to look like something people would take pride in holding. How could anyone take it seriously when it was shaped like an insect and looked like it was coloured in with a special pack of glitter pens? For all these reasons and more, the Divas Championship is the worst women's title design in WWE history. No, it's not. Number 1, Fabulous Moolah's Women's Championship. If you ask WWE, the Fabulous Moolah held the Women's Championship from 1956 until 1984. If you ask literally anybody else, they will tell you that's simply bollocks. According to the company's own history, Moolah won the women's title before the company officially existed. What she had actually won was the NWA Women's Championship, which WWE co-opted later. Not only is Moolah's mammoth reign not as long as you think, but she also committed one of the strangest acts of vandalism in wrestling history. She put her own face on the belt. Not a pretty sight. That's right, the original version of the Women's Championship featured a little cutout photo of Moolah's mug on the front. If you needed any more proof of the stranglehold she had on women's wrestling at the time, here it is. This is ridiculous for so many reasons, not least because it makes this supposedly prestigious belt look like a giant fridge magnet. Even weirder is that the NWA have actually kept this tradition alive, meaning that modern-day champions are also forced to cart around a belt with their own gurning mugs on them. Sort of works if you're an arrogant heel, but not so much when there's a babyface champ. Not so fabulous if you ask me, Moolah, you bastard.